So people could probably shout out the question I'm going to ask you right now.
Okay.
But you know that you're a woman.
Yes.
What is that?
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this brilliant clip from Matt Walsh while he was speaking at New Mexico State for Young America's Foundation, YAF. Now, you may or may not know who Matt Walsh is. He is a very well-known person over at the Daily Wire, has a really controversial podcast. Different story, I digress. But he is probably most well-known by the mainstream for being on Dr. Phil and asking a transgender person, what is a woman? That became a movie. That has become quite a few things. So after the talk at New Mexico State, there was a Q&A, and some trans people confronted him about some of these issues. Oh, you don't see me as a woman, and my friends do, and quite a few more things. Now, what he said in response was brilliant. If you want to see this clip and more, and the full talk, I'll link to that in the description box. If you want to see it on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Hi, Matt. I'm transgender. I'm born and raised here in New Mexico. I have a graduate degree in information technology, marketing, business, and finance. I own my own home. I pay taxes. I have a six-figure job. I'm a respected professional in Albuquerque. I'm a mother. My life experience is that I'm an awesome person. I am well-liked. I'm responsible.
Let's pause right here. First of all, you're a mother. How does that really work? I presume this is a biological male, yes? So how do you define the term mother? What does that really mean? You had a baby from the front or the back? I don't really know what's going on. I don't understand exactly what's happening. Did you adopt? Like, what's going on? Anyway, I'm going to skip forward a little bit here because this person's just saying how well they're liked in the community, all this and that and the third, talking about how people around this person like this person. Let's fast forward a little bit.
So the question.
Okay.
How can you assert that nobody would ever see me as a woman when my material experience tells me you're wrong?
Okay. It's interesting that that's the part of my talk you chose to ask a question about, because that's not in my talk at all. I don't believe I said that no one would ever see you as a woman. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, that you could fool someone. Now, you brought this up, so I have to tell you that you brought this up. You've put your identity on the table for conversation. And so I'm going to say you wouldn't fool me at all. I mean, I see a man 100%. And I think that most people would. Now, the fact that you have people in your life who are saying to you, oh, you're totally a woman, it's exactly what I'm talking about. No one in my life has ever once said to me, you're totally a man, Matt.
That's a very good point. I've never in my life had anybody say, hey, man, you're totally a man. I believe that you're a man. Why would you say that? It's obvious what I am. Why must you have to, why hammer that point home? Like, how much sense does that make?
You know, if a friend of mine called me on the phone and said, listen, Matt, I want you to know you're really a man, I would think that there was something wrong with him. I would say, why are you saying that at all? It doesn't make any sense. So the fact that this is a conversation to begin with tells me, it only proves the point that I'm trying to make, that your identity, even in your own mind, is up for, it's something that you need to be assured of. Now, what I would like to ask you, again, because you're standing here, and so you've brought your identity on the table for discussion. So how do you know that you're a woman?
It was first when I heard transgender persons describe their experience in their own words, and this was only about 2 years ago. Hearing somebody describe things, it was a woman from like England, describing her experience, her childhood, her teenage years. And it blew my mind to be listening to her.
Let's pause. It sounds like you heard somebody that had a similar experience and feelings as you. So that was your justification to say, you know what? Okay, I'm transgender now, because myself and that person had, you know, you just felt like you were kind of connected to this individual. So then that makes you transgender, or maybe you guys have just had similar experiences, similar feelings, and similar mental illnesses, perhaps. I don't know.
It was just some podcast that I was listening to while I was like doing laundry.
A podcast, okay.
But it blew my mind to hear somebody so eloquently and precisely describe things that I had experiences
What
that
was
I
the
had
description?
experienced.
What did they say?
Okay. So
Come on.
I am honestly hesitant. I know that you touched earlier about the difficulty that transgender women might have in describing their identity, but I want to state, I honestly don't feel that you would engage in this conversation in good faith.
Nah, see that right there, that's just the person, that's this individual. I don't know what this person's pronouns are, Zims or her, him, but I don't know nothing about that. But this individual just does not want to have the conversation because Matt Walsh would tear it apart. That's all that it is. That's not how you go about this.
Then why are you here? Why did you stand up to talk to me if you don't want to have a conversation? You're saying that you discovered that you're a woman. I'm asking you how you did. That's a very fair question.
Okay.
How do you know that you're a woman?
That's fine. All right. So first of all, listening to transgender people, and it was like, okay, this is a one-off, you know, one person describing these things. Things like looking at yourself in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. Hearing compliments like, you are such an example, like a positive masculine role model. And just hearing that and being like, you know, it feels like they're talking about somebody else. It means feeling alone, even when you're surrounded by guys, even when you have a lot of friends. And I was active in like Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout. I had great masculine role models my whole life. And yet I never felt like I belonged. I felt welcome and included.
Why does that make you a woman?
Right.
As opposed to just a man who doesn't get along with some other men, or a man who's depressed, or a man who doesn't feel at home totally in his body, which, by the way, is a pretty universal human experience. Everybody goes through it at one time or another. So in what way does that make you a woman, though? And it's interesting you're telling me that you listen to the experiences of other transgender people.
Well, yeah.
But what about women?
So
because trans women are women, you would say, right?
I would say that, yes.
Exactly the same?
Yes.
Okay, well then why do you need to hear the testimony of quote-unquote trans women? Like, how?
Very good point. It's like, yo, if you guys are the same, if a biological XY male is the same as biological XX female, because all of a sudden the XY male now identifies as a woman, if they're the same thing, then why not speak to other women about how they live their experiences rather than other biological XY men who identify as women the same as you? Okay? Like, that was a very good point that he made right there. Fantastic point. You are talking to other men about a male experience rather than actual women about a woman's experience.
How you pick any actual woman in this room? In what way do you know that you belong in the same category as them?
I know because they tell me. So here was
You need them to tell you what you are?
Women. Yes. I trust the opinions of the women around me.
And if most women...
It's incredible. You might try it sometime.
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman, would you say I'm not a woman anymore?
If who?
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman anymore, would you then relent and say I'm not a woman?
I would say most people on the planet have no idea who I am. I'm going to trust the opinions of the people who've spent their lives with me.
Avoiding the question.
But you are relying on other people to tell you who you are, is what we're establishing.
For context, I know you like to think, I know you like to say, everybody's rah-rahing and supporting transgender people, and yet they're still killing themselves, etc. But I'm standing here in a room full of people applauding you and asking questions like, how can I put out legislation here in New Mexico, you know, my home state I grew up in, to try to reverse transgenderism? I'm not safe. And it wasn't.
How are you not safe?
How are you not safe? Like, ain't nobody doing that to you right now. Is there going to be a law that's going to lock you up because of how you identify? It's like, look, man, don't nobody care. You could be a grown man, a grown woman, and identify as whatever you want to identify as. I don't particularly care. My only issue is when you involve the kids in it and when you force me to participate in whatever you got going on. That's your business as an adult. But let that be between you and whoever wants to participate voluntarily. Don't involve children in it, and don't involve people that don't want to be in it like me. Simple.
Just said you're standing in a room with people who disagree with you and you're perfectly fine. So how are you not safe? Okay, look, we're going round and round. You don't want to answer any of the questions. Maybe we'll end with this because we're talking about womanhood. So people can probably shout out the question I'm going to ask you right now.
Okay.
But you know that you're a woman.
Yes.
What is that?
So gender is a social thing. It only makes sense. I don't want to hear that.
What is a woman? What is a woman?
What is a woman?
The word woman, define in the dictionary. Go.
A woman is somebody who is included and respected and seen and participates in society, recognized by other women. If you speak with women...
Circular definition.
That's mine. Whatever.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy, there we go. Why is it so hard to identify, to define what a woman is? All I heard right there at the very end was feelings. Oh, well, I feel like this, and they're accepted by women. It's like, nah, you're a woman if you are biological XX. That's it. I think what Matt say, adult human female, XX hormone, like that's really it. XX chromosomes, you good. XX female, XY male. It should be just as simple as that. You got some random genetic anomalies or whatever, but we pretty much can see what's going on. We can tell what's going on. We're all people that have some level of intelligence. We know what's happening. But shout out to Matt Walsh for speaking at this particular event. Again, if you want to see that full thing, I'll link to it in the description. There's more clips from that with other people of that particular community. It's a pretty good watch, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the job that Matt Walsh did here with this person? Good job, bad job? How do you feel about this person's behavior? I mean, I was kind of impressed, but whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. Matt Walsh did fantastic here. What he was saying was right on point. The other person, hey, I don't know what they're going through, but that's on them. Ain't nobody trying to pass laws to reverse anything. Like, however anybody feels inside, however they want to identify, you can identify as a unicycle and wear that on top of your head like it's a crown. I don't really care as an adult, whatever you do. But again, my thing is leave the kids out of it and don't force me to participate. If I don't call you by the proper pronoun or whatever gender you want to identify as at 10:05 in the morning on the East Coast, I shouldn't be held liable or responsible for that, for whatever anybody else wants to do with themselves. Let that be a personal decision as an adult. Very simple. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.